Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks so much for joining me for another video. Today, we're going to take a look at what is going on in the California housing market. We just saw the end of July, and some of the data is in. Other data takes a while to be tabulated for the whole state, but there is some data that I have access to from the MLS. And so what I'm going to do today is just do kind of a cross section to give you guys a sense for what's actually going on or what happened in July. So we're going to take a look at Los Angeles County, San Diego County, and Santa Clara County. And that should give us a pretty good sense for what happened in the real estate market. And I'll share some of my thoughts with you as well as we move forward. Real quick, if I can help you with any real estate needs here in Greater Los Angeles or North Orange County, please reach out to me. My contact information is down below. Now, first and foremost, I just want to share that we have seen a dip in the last week or so, fairly reasonably in mortgage rates. They're probably hovering, in this 6.57 to 6.75 range or something like that, depending on what you're going to get. But that might end up helping things a little bit in August. But of course, we're going to have to see how that ends up playing out. Next, I just want to do a real quick recap for California based on the data that came in June. This is from the National Association of Realtors here, and I'll share this link with you in the notes down below if you want to take a look at it. And as you can see here, it's quite a mixed bag. This column is the year-over-year changes, and this column is the month-over-month changes. And then over here, we have SFRs or single-family homes, condos, and then we have kind of things broken down into separate areas like LA Metropolitan, Central Coast, Central Valley, and so on. And as you can see, the month over month, we had a lot of negative declines month over month in many markets. Central Coast definitely being hit the hardest with negative 7.6%. month over month. And then in the year over year column, kind of the same thing. A lot of declines in prices, 5.9% in whatever they consider the far north. Some other smaller declines in some other areas like the Central Coast at 3.1%. And then condos and townhomes were down 3.9% as well across the state. So overall in June, we definitely started seeing a fair bit of weakness in many of the large areas throughout California. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what we saw in those three very large counties, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Clara, for the month of July, which that data I do have access to, since that will give us a kind of cross-section, a sort of glimpse as to what we're likely to see for the whole state once those numbers come out in a week or so. So we'll go ahead and start out here in Los Angeles County, and what we can see here is that prices did rise very modestly from a year-over-year standpoint, less than 1%, just 0.8%. So we're not seeing a lot of growth anymore, pretty much anywhere in California for the most part. If we look at San Diego County, we see the same thing. Pretty flat for the last year and a half or so. We're up 0.6% year over year in San Diego County. So not much growth in prices there either. I think last month there was a decline year over year. So it's upticked just a little bit, but still nothing major. And then if we look at Santa Clara County, we see that we are up 1.8%. There's definitely been some declines over the last couple months, but compared to a year ago, there is still modest price growth at 1.8%. Now, the next thing I want to take a look at is active listings. And here we do see a trend across California. For Los Angeles County, we are up 23.1%. So quite a rise in the month supply or the inventory that's on the market. And you can kind of see the trend here. We've just been rising for several years now. And if we jump into San Diego County and we look at the month supply, we see kind of a similar trend. There's been a lot of upward progress in supply, but it has tapered off a little bit. And the reason why that is because we are seeing kind of a new change in the patterns that we've been experiencing since the beginning of the year. And that is that less sellers are actually listing homes now. So we're starting to see a decline in new listings coming onto the market. And that's likely because sellers are getting discouraged. And a lot of sellers are probably looking at their neighbors' houses that have been sitting on the market for a while and aren't getting offers, or their neighbors maybe aren't getting offers like they thought they would at prices that they thought they would. And so they're getting discouraged from putting their homes on the market because they're probably not going to get the price that they anticipated. And so they're deciding to either stay put or rent the house out or wait until maybe a more opportune time comes up in the future, whether or not that actually ends up happening. And if we look at the supply here in Santa Clara County, same thing. We're up 23.5% year over year. But just like these other counties, we are seeing a similar tapering off of inventory on the market as more sellers are getting discouraged. The last metric I want to share with you is the pending sales. And if we look at Los Angeles County, pending sales are looking really, really poor. They're down 40.7% year over year. And this is, kind of during peak selling season. So, I mean, if you look back to the previous year and the year before that, we don't typically see pending sales this low, except for December, obviously during the holidays. And right now, this is for the month of July. And you can see we're well below anywhere we've been in many years in terms of pending home sales. So that's obviously going to mean lower closed sales in the next couple months as a result of less homes making it into escrow. And if we look at San Diego County, we'll also check out pending sales. And we see not too bad. I mean, they're definitely subdued. They're very low compared to what we saw several years ago. And for the last 3 years, they've been, fairly low across the board. So not much of a change there. So San Diego County still looking a little better, a little stronger than what we're seeing in Los Angeles County. And finally, if we look at Santa Clara County on the pending sales, we are down 18.4% year over year. So definitely some weakness there as well. There's less inventory on the market there overall, but even though that's the case, they're also seeing a decline in pending sales, and this will become the closed sales in a month or two. So those are probably going to continue to get weaker. Of course, now that interest rates are rising, that might cause some support under the market and might allow things to pick up in the next month or two. We're going to have to see, because things have been quite volatile the last several months and interest rates have bounced around quite a bit. So for all we know, they could jump back up any day now. But to summarize what's happening, I mean, really we're seeing kind of a frozen market for the most part. Now, of course, it's area specific. Many areas are still selling quite well. Prices are still rising. If they're highly in demand areas, they're generally going to still be doing pretty good. But if you look at the state as a whole, you look at some of the major counties in the state, and what you're seeing kind of a balancing act there. You're seeing buyers being very hesitant. There's less buyers that can afford to buy because of affordability issues. And there's a lot of sellers that won't lower the prices enough to get buyers to be able to buy. And so we're kind of seeing a standstill somewhat. And that's really the reason why prices have been pretty flat for the last year or two. And they haven't really declined in a meaningful way, which has been a surprise to me and I think many other people that watch the market. So we'll take a look at the statewide data once it's tabulated from some of these big real estate companies. I'll do another video and share that information with you. Again, if there's anything I can do for you in terms of buying or selling real estate, please reach out to me. I'd like to help. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what is going on in your market. Let me know what you think is going to happen with interest rates. I appreciate the commentary. It definitely helps my videos. And I appreciate you guys watching. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.